Hi guys. Oh my goodness, look at you guys, you're here again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much guys for following me, for subscriptions, for the comments that you leave behind. We are growing together. Let's come to Australia. Let's come to Australia, guys. I'll be looking forward to seeing you very soon and welcoming you maybe to the airport, with flowers and, having a chat, telling you more about Australia. And if you're coming to South Australia, you know what, guys? You know what? I'm going to pick you up from the airport. Don't forget to call me if you're stranded and you don't know anyone. I can be your friend. I love you. So today, we're talking about Australian visas again. And I was just thinking of what should I talk about, and then I thought, now that we have talked about how to do the school application and applying for Australian student visa, now I thought I should just come here and talk about the reasons why you could be denied a visa, the reason why you could get a visa rejection, visa denial, visa refusal, however you call it. It's a big deal. It is really painful after submitting all the paperwork and then boom, your visa application is denied. So what are the reasons? The first reason, it's very common one, and most of people tend to do this, some without knowing and some knowingly. When you are actually submitting applications to immigration with the information that maybe are incorrect, maybe you are just talking about something that is not true, or maybe you have submitted documents that are not true, that could be a reason. Or maybe genuine person coming to Australia to study, but you will go back to your country. Let's say you're coming here as a student. When you're writing an SOP, you explain to the immigration, I'm coming to Australia to actually just acquire the quality education, but I'll be going back to my country. So when you fail to write a proper SOP, SOP is a statement of purpose. You're writing it to immigration, explaining the intention and the reason as to why you want to come to Australia. So when you're not writing the SOP in the correct way, you are failing to mention that after your studies, after your visa finishes, you're going back to your country. When you fail to let the immigration know your intentions of coming to Australia is just temporarily, then you get a visa refusal. This is a very sad thing for most of people after spending all the money waiting for a while, and giving the commitments and just waiting to come into Australia, and then boom, no visa. So whenever you are submitting the application, make sure that your SOP, the statement of purpose, explains all the reasons why you are coming to Australia as a genuine immigrant who is coming here to seek either education, either visiting, with the purpose and intention of going back to your country. So whenever you're talking about the SOP, make sure you are explaining more of the reason why you want to come here. And again, remember to mention that after your visit here, after being in Australia temporarily, you're actually going back to your country. So that could be the other reason that most of people get denied visa. Because I'll give you an example. If you submitted a document today to the immigration with an incomplete, documents attached, maybe false information in there, and again you have written the SOP that is not explaining your intention of you being in Australia temporarily, then you get visa refusal. So let's say today you're coming to visit Australia. Your intention is to come here and see Australia, just visit and see all the beauty sceneries that we have here, and maybe just get exposed to the outside world. and you get here, and then you don't want to go back, because that is what most of people do. When you're doing the second application for your visa, after you have actually overstayed, or maybe you did not follow all the laws and the rules around your first visas, then you get denied your visa. So you need to be very mindful whenever you are doing this. Whenever you've been granted your first visa, you need to actually keep on following all the requirements on your visa. This could lead to you getting a visa refusal or denial. So guys, this is something that we need to know, that whenever we are submitting the application, we need to be aware that the documents that we submit to the immigration really determine if you're getting the visa or not. Guys, for example, let me give you a very simple example that could easily illustrate what I mean by, not writing a good SOP. So for example, when you're writing an SOP, a statement of purpose to the immigration, before you submit your visa, so make sure you are telling them your intention of coming here to stay temporarily and to actually go back to your country after your studies, after your visit, after being here temporarily, So let's say you are a student and you want to come here to study, and you are actually writing your SOP. One thing that you should never mention on the SOP is, I want to come to Australia, study, and maybe make Australia my home. No, immigration will deny you a visa. Make sure that your intention of visiting is temporarily, as the visa suggests. Make sure that your intention of visit is just temporarily, that you're going to go back to your country, that you have strong attachment to your country, and you will wish to go back after gaining all these quality, maybe education, maybe having a stay here, or maybe working temporarily here. So you need to mention that your intention of going back is true. Another example, let's say you are inviting someone here, or you've been invited and you're coming here, on a visit visa, or maybe tourism visa, or maybe you're coming here on a, skilled sponsored job, visas. So for example, you've been given a job in a company and they decided to sponsor you to come here for 2 years. Make sure that when you're submitting your application, you state that you're coming to Australia temporarily, and you are looking forward to going back to your country after staying in Australia for that duration of time, if they offered you visa. I think this is one of the important thing that most of us don't get it correctly. And if you're using an agent, make sure that they help you to confirm whatever you're writing in the SOP is actually how it should be written. Another thing that could actually get you getting denied visa is the health examination. If you fail to meet the health requirements as to what is expected, I told you guys, when you go to examination for the health requirement, they do the x-ray. Some people, they do the urine test. No, they normally do the urine test to everyone. Again, they will do blood test to some student. So if you fail to meet the health requirement as per what the expectation of Australia immigration is, then you could end up getting rejected of visa, or denied your visa. So you need to make sure that before you actually start the application, your health is good, that you are in a position to actually come here and not being a burden to the system here. That you'll be here in a healthy condition, in the best way that possibly anyone could. So you need to make sure that you meet your health requirements as what the immigration of Australian expect. Another reason, I know this is a huge conversation. It is a huge conversation. Anytime we talk about bank statement, most of people, they kind of just go like, because yeah, they're asking for this money. and some people don't actually understand. So I will give you an example to demonstrate what I mean. When the immigration asks you to provide financial evidence to support your application, it means this. Let's say you're coming here as a student, maybe as a visitor, maybe, just temporarily. They need to know that you can actually sponsor or support yourself and your lifestyle here in Australia. So they need to ensure that you actually have money in the bank that you can use to support you here. They expect you, whenever you come here, you're coming here temporarily. So they know that you could not acquire all the, the benefits in Australia, the Centrelink, if maybe the pension, the disability funding, and all that, maybe the childcare support. You are not eligible for all these when you're just a temporarily entrant person. If you're a student, if you're a visitor, if you're coming here to work temporarily, you are not eligible for all these benefits that they offer to their citizens. So when you actually apply, they will ask you to give the evidence that you can actually support yourself here in Australia without being of a bother to the government. So, my guys, when now you are submitting a bank statement, could you make sure that the bank statement is current, it has money, it is a current day-to-day bank, it is not like a fixed account. You need to show that the money in the bank account is accessible. You understand what I mean? So you don't need to provide a bank statement without money. If you do that, you get visa refusal. If you provide a bank statement without evidence to show where the money comes from, because they want to know where the source of all this money that you've provided comes from. So you need to actually make sure that you're providing a bank statement with all the supporting documents to help them know that you actually have a business that is running, that could actually, continue providing money for you when you're here. That you've sold a piece of land, maybe you've sold an asset, maybe you are employed, maybe someone is employed and they have accumulated all this money that you're providing. So when you fail to provide all this information, you end up not receiving your visa. So when it comes to the bank statement, I know this is a huge conversation every day, and most of people, they want to to just submit any bank statement. It doesn't go like that. You need to submit a bank statement that you can actually explain or confirm or give evidence of the relationship between you and whoever is giving you the bank statement. With the recent Australian requirement with the immigration is whoever is supporting you should be a relative or should be a person who is close to you in terms of maybe family member, that you can actually provide evidence of the relation between the two of you. For example, let's say your sister is supporting you, or maybe your brother. You can use the birth certificate and your birth certificate to kind of bring together, and the immigration will look, yes, they share the same father and mother, they share the same mother, they are sister, they are stepsister, they can kind of conclude that you guys are actually relative or related. Why do they do this? They do this to make sure that the fundings, whoever is going to support you, is part of your life, is part of your family, is person who cannot be removed from your, your face, from your life. So these are people who could continue being there even if you came here today. So they want to make sure that the relationship is genuine, in sense of they know very well if this person is your family, they will continue supporting you when you're here. So when you fail to provide enough information about the sources of the funding, then you miss out. I know this all is so confusing, so overwhelmed with the process, but you need to make sure that whenever you're submitting your application, you're actually providing these things. You're actually meeting all the requirements to show that you're just a genuine student coming to Australia to study and go back. And with that, if you provide all the good reasons why you want to come to Australia, for example, someone like me, I came here as a social worker student. So whenever I was writing my SOP, my statement of purpose, I clearly stated that I'm coming here to gain quality education, as you know, compared to my country. My country is still developing, and this is a very developed country. So I was explaining how studying in a very developed country like Australia could benefit me to actually go back and empower people, you know, where I come from, and make a positive difference. It was a way of telling the immigration, if you gave me this opportunity to actually come to Australia, it's going to benefit my country as a whole. Don't fail to say all these things in your SOP. Another thing that most of people get denied visa is, for instance, if you're coming here for a visit, or maybe you have actually submitted your document like 10 years ago, you did an application for visa and you are granted the visa, and maybe the information that you gave about your, you know, where you live, the proof of your home address, you can't actually, some people can't actually remember what they said 10 years ago. And maybe you said you have 3 sisters, and maybe you have 2 sisters after the next application, so they kind of contradict every time you're submitting this application. You will get visa refusal, because anything you submit to the immigration is stored and kept there. In case you ever submit anything that brings contradiction and confusion to what you previously said, then they're going to term this as incorrect, or maybe incomplete, or maybe it's not true. Let's just say it's not, you have not submitted a genuine information. So you need to be very mindful, you need to be very careful. Before you actually provide any documents to the immigration, you need to make sure that anything you have ticked is correct. Anything you have provided has evidence. If you're providing a marriage certificate, if you're providing relationship evidence, maybe you're coming up with the communication history, maybe you're coming up with the properties that you own together and all the investment that the two of you own together, maybe you're coming up with the birth certificate for the children, or maybe for a child that you have together. Make sure that these information are true, and make sure that you provide these documents. I told you previously, Australia is an evidence-based country. Whatever you say, you need to prove it. If you say you've been working and you need to provide the evidence to show that you have been working on a certain place, on a certain farm, make sure that you actually provide your payslip, provide your bank statement, provide the references to the places where you worked. Mention that company on the CV when you're submitting it, so that they can actually call and confirm that you are actually working there. Don't just say that I was working on this time to this time without providing the evidence. You need to attach the evidence. And again, whenever you are attaching the evidence, make sure that they are certified by the lawyers. That will make it easy for the immigration to actually trust you, because they believe whatever the documents you've provided for them, or rather to them, if it is certified by a lawyer, then that means it's a true document. So don't just come up with the evidence without actually certifying them. Make sure they're certified. Make sure the documents are true, they're there. In case they ever even ask you for the original copies, make sure they're there. Don't come up with fake documents. They will catch up on you. Anyway, I hope this information will help you guys to understand that even if we are doing this application to the immigration of Australia, we could easily get a refusal if we don't provide the information that are true, and we don't meet the requirements of any person that is just a temporary immigrant to coming to Australia. So I wish you all the best. I honestly wish you guys all the best. I know it could be a long process. It involves a lot of money. I know, but guys, just keep on pushing it. Try it hard. Make sure that you're doing the right thing. And I hope to see you guys sometime soon in Australia. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. I love you. All the best.